today's episode, we've got 3 stories. Story number 1, Sado Island's gold mine complex gained World Heritage status. Story number 2, spicy chips rated 18 sent 14 students to the hospital. And story number 3, what's up with all the Sriracha vending machines popping up here and there in Japan? I guess you can say 2/3 of today's episode is pretty spicy. And for this week's recommendation, I also have a non-fiction book to share. Ready to dive in? Let's go! Hey everyone, it's Mizhelle. You're watching Tokyo Past 3. Welcome to an episode of This Week in Japan where I catch you up with what's buzzing in good old Nippon. This is a bit of a late upload because my calendar has been packed with social events both for work and my private life, and I actually spent the last 4 days just trying to recover the energy that I lost. My social battery was like pretty much drained, and obviously I couldn't film anything. So this is actually the first day that I'm genki enough to film something in front of a camera. What have you guys been up to? Have you been enjoying the summer, or are you one of those people who just want the summer to be over? To be honest, I'm kind of in the latter because it's just been really hot in Japan. It's difficult to enjoy anything. Some parts of Japan have reached like 40 degrees Celsius this year, and as much as I love travel, it's just this season is a big no for me, although I am traveling this coming weekend, and we'll see how that goes. If the video turns out to be mostly just the place instead of me, you know that it's probably because I am uncomfortable with all of the sweat and it's just not good for filming. Let me know what you guys have been up to in the comments, and if you have any tips on how to cool down, let me know as well. And with that, let's go straight into our stories today, starting on a happy note. Story number 1, Sado Island's gold mine complex gained World Heritage status. Really exciting news about Sado Island in Niigata Prefecture. The UNESCO World Heritage Committee has recently added the gold and silver mine complex on Sado Island to its prestigious World Heritage list. This makes it Japan's 26th World Heritage Site. So what makes this site so special? The Sado Mine Complex was one of the world's largest producers of gold in the 17th century, and it showcases significant advancements in mining technology from pre to post-industrialization. However, there's a deeper, more complex history here that involves the use of forced labor of Koreans during World War II, which is why South Korea was initially opposed to having this listed as a World Heritage Site. But after Japan agreed to provide comprehensive explanations and exhibits about wartime labor, the decision was made unanimously. This is a big deal because it not only recognizes the cultural and historical significance of Sado Island, but also is a mark towards addressing and acknowledging the difficult parts of history, so not just the whitewashed parts of it. The reaction in Japan has been overwhelmingly positive, of course. Celebrations broke out, and some people also say that there has been increased tourist activity on the island, but from the articles that I saw, it's mostly Japanese people coming from other prefectures, so it remains to be seen whether it will attract more inbound tourists to the area. Here's a question though. How many of you travel with the aim to see World Heritage sites? Because frankly, the people I've met who've expressed fervent interest in seeing World Heritage sites are Japanese. But that's probably because I am in Japan and I am surrounded by Japanese people, so I don't know, but for me, it's not really a thing. It's not really a label I care about so much. If a place is beautiful or has deep history or is just really strange, I would visit it out of interest, not because there's a label of UNESCO World Heritage Site pasted on it. I've also heard of people in the tourism industry joke about Japan applying for too many World Heritage Sites that they should just practically apply for the whole country. But I think that's a bit of an exaggeration because even with 26 sites, Japan is not even part of the top 10. It's number 11 though. And if you're curious, like I was, the top 1 country with the most World Heritage Sites is Italy with 60. I remember back in 2019, there was a lot of buzz about this cluster of tombs from the Kofun period in Osaka that gained World Heritage status. And I do think it's pretty cool, but the problem is it's not something that you can appreciate from the ground. You can only really see it from above, so you'll have to ride a helicopter or go on top of a high building to really appreciate it. You can't even go to the island itself. And while it's very interesting, it doesn't really make much sense as an attraction. As for Sado Island, I think foreign tourists would actually be more interested in the Taraibune, which you can still ride to this day as an attraction on the island. These are the tugboats that were featured on Spirited Away, and there are two places on the island where you can experience that. One is a normal wooden boat and the other one features glass bottom. And I know that because I was actually supposed to go to Sado Island this summer with my friend Yui, who now lives in Niigata, but I called it off because I don't think I would be a good friend to travel with under this weather. I'm just... nah. All right, on to story number 2. Spicy chips send 14 high school students to the hospital. Apparently, this all happened during recess when some 30 students were sharing these chips and passing them around until they started feeling sick. They experienced severe nausea and pain around their mouths. The culprit, a snack called R18 curry chips, known for being spicy due to ghost peppers, one of the world's spiciest chilies. These chips are reportedly so intense that the manufacturer Isayama Corporation warns that they are not for anyone under 18 or for people with weak stomachs or high blood pressure. One student apparently brought the chips to school for fun, not realizing the potential consequences. The good news is they're all okay, they only had minor symptoms, but it was serious enough to require emergency attention. Isayama Corporation has apologized for the incident, again reminding everyone that these chips are very spicy and they're not for minors, and that if you do decide to try them, maybe it's best that you're not alone. Right. In general, I do think that the Japanese has a low spice tolerance. Like in many instances, when my friends say that something is spicy and I taste it, it's not really that spicy for me. And then add to that these spicy chips have ghost peppers in them. I've never really tasted ghost peppers, but I did look them up. Apparently, they're really not for children because children's taste buds are more sensitive and their digestive systems are not built for extreme heat. So this is really a bad combination. The thing is, when you hear a piece of news like this, it makes you really curious, right? And I'm not a minor, I'm way over 18. And my spice tolerance is, I would say, kind of in the middle. Some Filipino food is spicy, and I do love Korean and Thai food, so I guess I can tolerate it. I didn't find the potato chips on either Amazon or Rakuten, but I did find the curry from the same brand, and I'm about to try it. I know, this is a bad idea, but here we go. Done! This is what it looks like. It clearly says it's not for people under 18. This is the kanji for prohibited, and over at the back you can also see they have warnings. So I have the curry right here, and of course milk, almond and soy standing by. And I have to say, it already smells like a mistake about to happen. Here goes. I'm okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. I think it went better. Okay, but I'm about to cry. Okay. They're not kidding when they said this is spicy. It is a painful kind of spicy, which I'm not a big fan of. But this is something I can tolerate with probably rice. But I will say I'll have to sweat a lot eating this. It was kind of expensive as well. But for me, it is tolerable. I can imagine that for Japanese people, that this would be extremely spicy. Because even for me, it's like, it's making my tongue numb. But I can eat it. I think I can. Shinchan, the Korean chicken, is kind of like this as well. And I was able to eat that. I think with some rice, this would actually go well. It's 10 p.m. as I'm recording this, and I think I might just eat it for lunch tomorrow. I'm gonna put it back in the fridge. If your spice tolerance is low, no. Okay, a lot better now. Now that I think about it, I probably should have done that story last, right? Anyway, on to story number 3. What is up with all the sriracha vending machines popping up in Japan? Somebody posted about seeing a sriracha vending machine, and a lot of other people started chiming in saying, is this the place? Is this the place? And all of these are different places. And it got me thinking, because back in June, I actually saw one and snapped a photo of it, and it was not among the places mentioned by other people. This made me realize that probably this sriracha vending machine is all over the country. So me being the curious person I am, I went into a rabbit hole and looked for sriracha vending machines in Japan, and apparently this is from a Japanese company. That company is Sriracha Japan, and based on their website, they import this directly from the United States. So the product is made in the United States and then shipped to Japan, and then they control the distribution. The thing is, sriracha, I would say, is not a very popular condiment in Japan. Again, the Japanese being a not very spice tolerant population, as we've established earlier. Even in my local supermarket, it's found in the other Asian ingredients section of the supermarket, along with the Chinese, Korean, Thai, Vietnamese ingredients. Even this brand, Sriracha Japan, is not the sriracha in my local supermarket. I believe they're a fairly new company, and they started installing these vending machines back in 2020 and have since been adding new locations. So somebody on X questioned whether these vending machines are even effective in terms of sales. One, because not a lot of Japanese everyday cuisine requires spicy condiments, and two, why would they buy it from a vending machine? So this story is interesting to me purely from a marketing perspective, because as you guys may know, I am a digital marketer by profession. When I saw this vending machine, I immediately knew that this was not for sales. This is for promotion. Probably the aim of this marketing campaign is just to make people recognize the brand a little bit better and be curious about what sriracha is if they don't know about it, and maybe search about it. And because they are a new company, my guess would actually be is that they are also trying to gauge what their target market is. And this is where I'm really curious as to why they're not using digital marketing instead. Then again, I looked at their website. It's not even HTTPS. It's not secure. So well, I guess they do lack a digital marketer and probably a web developer on their team. This is how I would actually approach marketing this product as a digital marketer. My first assumption would be that probably people who have purchased spicy products in the past would be interested in this product, right? So I would create search ads and display ads and also social media ads targeting that segment with that history of purchase. And then from there, I would define the demographic of my target customer based on the people who clicked or engaged with my ads. So that would be like the gender, the location, the age range. After that, I would look for cooking or food creators with an audience of the similar or same demographic, and I would ask them or collaborate with them to make content with the product. I would also give these creators their own discount codes that they can give to their audience to encourage them to buy and try the product. I doubt this will reach anyone from the company, but I'm really curious how effective this campaign is for them so far. This is just me speaking from my background, but I think a lot of things would be more measurable when you do it online instead of offline, especially if you just don't know your market yet. If there is any marketer out there who has an opinion about this, I would really love to know what you think, because I'm just really curious about this. I'm fascinated by it. Before I end this episode, let me give you this week's recommendation, and it is a true crime book. It is a very long title, so let me read it. It's People Who Eat Darkness, the true story of a young woman who vanished from the streets of Tokyo and the evil that swallowed her up, by Richard Lloyd Parry. You may be familiar with the author. I recommended his work before, and at the time, the book that I read was Ghosts of the Tsunami. It's about the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, and that was a really depressing book, but it is a very good read. I mean, it shows you a lot of what people experience. But this book, Those Who Eat Darkness, is about a case in the 90s that happened here in Japan, in Tokyo and Kanagawa. So that's where the story takes place. And it's about Lucy Blackman. Lucy is a woman from the UK who came here to Japan to work as a hostess at a nightclub, and one day she just disappeared. There's a documentary about this on Netflix, and I actually watched the documentary first. I read this without knowing that it was the same case. The Netflix documentary, from what I remember about it, the impression that I got after watching that documentary was that it really showed how much effort the Japanese police gave on this case, and I mean the main people who eventually solved the crime. And for this book in particular, I think it focuses a little bit more on the Blackman family. I did give the book 3 stars on Goodreads, which looking back, maybe it's not that fair given that this book was very thorough in portraying the people surrounding the case. I just found some parts of it a little bit too drawn out, and I just wanted to hurry to the conclusion. But overall, the author is really good in portraying people, and this is the same impression I got from when I reading Ghosts of the Tsunami. The people are really fleshed out. He is able to draw out their character just by describing their actions, which I think is really excellent writing. Also in the book, he mentions one of my favorite gender scholars, which is Aunt Allison, and I'm quite happy about that. So if you're into true crime, or if you're just interested in what a hostess really is, I mean, at least back in the 90s, this would be a good read. And it is not happy, obviously, because of the crime that took place, but it is an interesting insight into Japanese society and maybe the dark underbelly that not everybody gets to see. All right, and that's it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time for another roundup. This has been Mizhelle for Tokyo Past 3. Bye!